Hello and welcome to Mediacast, the podcast series from MediaBrief.com. I'm your host and friend Pavan R Chawla, and I have with me someone who is an inspiring leader with a lot of inspiring stories. So please join me as I welcome this wonderful person, Dr. Nishanth Dongari, the founder and managing director of Pure EV. He is driving the pursuit, the quest of profit with purpose for sustainability and energizing the entire, and he hopes to do that actually, the entire electric vehicle space. So, Dr. Dongari, I'll call you Nishant affectionately.
Thanks,
You can call
Pawan.
me Pavan. Welcome
Thanks.
to the show.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for hosting in the show.
Okay. So he's actually flown in from Hyderabad for this recording today, for this shoot, and very grateful to you for that. But also, Nishant, allow me to thank two wonderful young PR people, Mangarish Dume and Deblina Munshi of Fat Factors PR, who made this interaction possible. So, Nishant, as I said, you have an inspiring career. So please walk our audiences. I don't want to read a profile, okay, but I want you to pick out what's really interesting to you, what sort of made you, shaped you into the wonderful leader and person I see here today, and the industry respects a lot for what you do in the EV space. So walk us, our audiences, through your career graph very briefly. 1 minute for a lifetime of brilliant careers.
So thanks once again, Pawan, for hosting me in the show. Actually, so engineering has been my passion actually, and it has been a quite non-linear equation. So IIT Bombay, then working for engineering industry, then getting into R&D academia, then pulling myself into some of the strategic defense projects, and they are seeing the entire system integration,
Strategic defense projects. He was designing missiles for the defense of the country. Man, it just boggles my mind. Okay, so sorry I interrupted, but tell me.
So they are it gave me a inspiration that the science and technology should have a purpose. Actually, the engineering is all about creating an impact, be it for the nation, be it for the community, be it for the people actually. And that is what has inspired, pulled me into the story of Pure. So me and Rohit, we started Pure in 20.
Rohit, your co-founder.
Yeah, the co-founder. And we were batchmates and hostel mates from IIT Bombay actually. So we took different journeys, but again, so we fell in place in 2018 with Pure.
I tell you, it was day and I'm sure. But you spoke about being hostel mates at maybe an IIT.
Yes.
So, did you also find your days at the IIT like ranchos in the Three Idiots? Did you have a virus kind of professor?
No, not at all. So even if it was there, it would be very tough to even disclose because I am being a professor in IIT Hyderabad, no.
Yes, you are.
See, the life at IIT Bombay was like a cult actually.
Like a
Cult.
okay.
It's
like
not
a
about you're just getting in as a student, you're getting out with degree. It's all about the cult. It was about the lifestyle actually. It's about more about the community. The hostel ambience was the fantastic, I can say, and that is what is making real leaders out of the campus actually today, so IIT Bombay.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, which were some mentors or inspiring teachers, professors who actually gave you some major learning that sort of equipped you for the challenges of engineering in life?
So engineering life, I can talk about many mentors and professors,
Somebody who made a profound impact.
yeah, profound impact. It came really when I was working with DRDO actually.
DRDO.
Dr. VK Saraswat, who is currently member Niti Aayog. In fact, we were working on one of the strategic missile projects. So I was giving a presentation in a very large room filled with 100 plus scientists, even people from army and the defense officials were there. So I was making more presentations on some kind of technical data, plots and all. So he just stood up. He asked me Dr. Nishanth, just give a gist whether our missile will fly or not. That single statement created an impact in my mind that, when we do an engineering, when we do technology, there has to be an end goal actually. There has to be a conclusion. It cannot lead to a paralysis analysis kind of situation. So that mentoring has really nurtured and helped my career actually in the last 10, 12 years actually.
Wonderful.
Working side by side, hand in hand, glove in glove actually with likes of Dr. Saraswat and Dr. Satish Reddy, so yeah.
Excellent, excellent. And I'm sure Pure EV has benefited from, not just your educational and work experiences, and you are, in the 0.001 percentile of gifted, smart, the best educated Indians. And the beauty of it all is that after having worked abroad and, virtually wherever you wanted to, you could have gone. But you are back in India with another equally committed co-founder to help people, purpose, and planet in our country through EVs. So that's wonderful. How would you summarize, Nishanth, Pure EV's journey and performance, over the years since its inception? What have been the biggest milestones so far?
So Pawan, last 6 years, the biggest milestones has been the kind of slogan we have created in the market for pure EV products is that, pure means mileage, mileage means pure action.
I'm aware of it, but I want you to explain to the audience and share with them this beautiful acronym, PURE. Because this is what I think defines your DNA, and this is what's remained constant.
Yes.
So just tell them about PURE.
So when we started pure, so the whole purpose, the mission, it was not just about 5 years, 10 years kind of a vision actually what we have created. It's a vision we have created for the next 30 years, as a, to make the country net zero goal. So Pure as a brand, it has evolved, power using renewable energy actually, because we are not here just to cut the tailpipe emissions from the EVs actually. Ultimately, we want EV story to get connected to the energy story actually. And EVs have to be fueled by the renewable energy actually. It will make them more cost efficient. It will also support our net zero goals. And more than that, it will align with our infrastructure goals actually.
Okay. So, the PURE acronym just zipped past at about 100 words a second. So I'll just repeat it, or you say it again. Power
using renewable energy.
Renewable energy. That's really very, very important. And that's what I think also will make all the younger people, the Gen Zs, the millennials, or the younger millennials relate with this. Because ever since COVID, in the aftermath of it, we've seen how people are very values driven.
Yes.
Community stuff aside, or communal stuff aside, when it comes to the nation, everybody unites. When it comes to purpose and what India needs, they all unite. And I think Pure EV is in that sweet spot of trying to bring together, earn profit through purpose, and then deploy it for its own growth and therethrough, the economy and the ecosystem, where I pun on eco, because in the literal sense. Now tell me very briefly about Pure EV's growth ever since when was it founded, and how has it grown in the years? How many years now?
So it's been almost close to 7 years, 7+ years actually. 2018 we incubated out of IIT Hyderabad.
Yes.
So Pure was new, IIT Hyderabad was also new, and so it took us almost 2.5 years to set up the initial product line, the R&D, supply chain actually. And we launched our first product in 2020 February, just before COVID actually. And post-COVID, we saw a great kind of demand for our products, although we were a late entrant actually in terms of the pricing also, we were pricing it around kind of value for money. So one thing it has made us understood is if you have cracked the consumer mindset, it doesn't matter whether you're a large brand or a virgin startup, the consumer will take your brand onto his head and then carry the sales for you actually. So the journey was was a positive surprise, because we were not expecting this much of growth in the 4-5 years actually. And so the volumes grew and the network was growing actually. But one thing we felt was that, it's like Dil Mange More, we have to do something more for our customers, more differentiation, more in the terms of durability, more in terms of the gaining their more and more trust actually. And that is what made us to continuously improvise our products actually. So let's say we started our vehicles with a milestone of 90 kilometers, 100 kilometers kind of journey. And today we are able to clock we are the one of very few companies who are able to clock 200 kilometer kind of mileage in the scooter segment.
Speaking about Pure EV, the really smart and strong brand in the EV space. So, Nishanth, now give me the infographic numbers, okay? Just your milestones, okay? From when you were incorporated, when you started, where are your plants? What is the footprint like of your customers? How many models do you have? Just give us all of this in a minute or so.
Yeah. So 2018 we started. 2020 was the first product launch actually. And so far we have covered 77,000 customers on ground actually.
Wow.
And that is across 75 locations in Pan India. They are covered from Kanyakumari to Kashmir.
Okay.
And from Mumbai to Odisha actually, and we have done exports to Dubai and Nepal and Bhutan also in the last 1 year, especially the motorcycle products actually. And this 75,000 customers, when we look at it, so they have driven or covered more than 270 crore kilometers. That translates almost per customer on an average. They've crossed 32,700 kilometers per customer.
On average.
On an average. That almost could be one of the or the highest number in the EV two-wheeler industry.
Amazing. That tells me that pure EV vehicles are robust. Not too many breakdowns if they do well. I also understand and assume that you have a good, decent supporting service network or availability geographically in proximity.
Yes.
And that the essential, crucial infrastructure of batteries and charging facilities are definitely available.
Yes.
Otherwise, you wouldn't, notch up this 32,000 kilometers per customer.
I mean, yes, Pawan, so these were the building blocks in terms of the technology also actually. That is what has translated truly our commercial value is what has been brought to Pure actually. What you have mentioned some of the points. So when we talk about this customer behavior, because this is very critical for us as a consumer brand actually, to position the brand also among the customers, Pure EV brand. So when we were entering into the market, we thought that, the customers will do 30,000 kilometers on a life cycle per day average, they will drive 25 kilometers. But to our surprise, in the first 24 to 36 months, the numbers went to the roof actually. They have cleared the roof. On an average, customers were driving 46 kilometers per day on an average. That is higher than some of the petrol conventional vehicles do actually. And very quickly, the customers, in fact, I have a customer who is 11 months old, who has crossed 39,000 kilometers. We have a customer in Hyderabad who has crossed 2 lakh kilometers. There are multiple customers who have crossed 1 lakh kilometers. So these numbers really gave us lot of pride actually. But again, have kind of told us also did we create the products that long lasting? It's not just about the battery and powertrain actually, it's more about the external factors, internal factors. And that is what has kind of made us more grounded actually, that, take us to the customer. And as a feedback loop we have created, including some of the points having a great amount of after sales service network actually. And when we speak about after sales service network, we went very, very granular actually.
Okay.
At a, what we call as a manufacturing backward integration. In service also, we have gone into the backward integration. So when we talk about failure of component, what is a sub-component, child component is failing, how do we make it available to our dealers actually? Because it's all about the consumer user experience. It's all about the turnaround time. So do you actually address your customer grievances in hours or days or months? So that is what has made us to understood the funnel of the two-wheeler as a consumer brand and EV as a new industry actually. That is how we created the ecosystem today as a platform actually for all our dealers and customers. And one thing has taught us is go into the prevention is better than curing mode actually.
Be preemptive about it.
Always be preemptive. See, customer is not buying a technology. Customer is buying trust. We are propagating a trust actually. So in the matter of faith and trust actually, the noise of the terms and conditions should be almost zero or near zero, frankly.
Correct.
So for that, as an engineering and a technology oriented company, we have to go for preemptive. If you have thousands of components, every component should have that kind of great amount of quality and engineering and technology gone into that, both on the upstream, that is on the supply chain level, downstream, that is how you nurture your dealers, your engineers, your technicians, and what is your communication you are doing to your customers actually. And this is what has made today Pure as a very, very organic brand in the industry.
Great work, and I commend you on that. This is Mediacast, the podcast series from MediaWave.com. I am with Dr. Nishanth Dongari, the founder and MD of Pure EV. Why Pure EV for India, Nishanth? Tell my viewers.
So Pure EV for India, it's all about the mileage. It's all about the durability. It's all about the sustainability. And one thing Pure has created is the trust is that, EVs downtime will be near zero and EVs will have resale value, because this we have already done in the country across last 1 year, almost 5,000 customers, went through our battery exchange and vehicle exchange program actually, where we were able to build third parties who are buying these second-hand vehicles, which is never ever present in the Indian EV market actually. Just to summarize, we are here to create a trust and faith in the community actually, we as a Pure EV brand.
Wonderful. More strength to you, Nishanth.
Thank you.
Nishanth, very impressive. Tell me, how many models and variants of EVs do you have right now? One. Where is your plant and what is its capacity? And how ready are you to upscale should that, be required?
So in terms of models, we have 2 scooter models and 2 motorcycle models, which we have introduced very recently. But one great thing is we have built all 4 models on a common platform.
Okay.
So this is to co-learn among all the scooter and motorcycle models. This is also to make our manufacturing R&D product development strategy very smart.
Where's your plant?
Our plant is located in Telangana, and we have set it up just beside IIT Hyderabad, to make it again a co-learning kind of space, because Silicon Valley inspires me. Silicon Valley is nothing but surrounding of Stanford actually, and then it has expanded. Right. So similar thing, we try to create around IIT Hyderabad, and it has created more inspiration for a lot of other companies to come in the near vicinity. And currently our capacity is close to 40,000 vehicles production per annum actually. Currently we are able to utilize the 40, 50, 60% depending on the seasonal demand and the now I think 100% utilization is going to happen in the next 9 months actually, because there is a good demand coming overall for the industry and especially for the Pure EV products.
Wonderful. Yeah. That very flows beautifully into my next question. Evaluate the current state, of the EV sector in India. What are the current numbers and what is the potential for growth that you see?
See, currently, as a EV two-wheeler, we started with hundreds and thousands. Now we are in millions, so we are talking about 1.2 million per annum actually. And I think this number in the next 5 years, even on a conservative basis actually, mix of electric scooters and electric motorcycles will grow to at least 5 to 6 million actually. So the electric scooter segment CAGR growth rate will be 25 to 30%. And electric motorcycle CAGR growth rate will be 110% over 6 years, because the base is lower actually.
Okay.
So this is on a very, very conservative basis. I'm being very bullish, I'm always optimistic. So the numbers could maybe go beyond this actually, so more from an industry perspective.
Like the final results of, the usage and the miles and the kilometers surprised you when you were very, very conservative.
Yes.
Right now you're starting on a bullish note. So, well, more strength to you. Tell me, you mentioned, 75 odd thousand customers over the, all the time since you've been bringing out and selling EVs and motorcycles, all EV, scooters and motorcycles. Is your sale more of a B2B or a B2C thing? Are you more with logistics companies, giving them the lower priced and lower weight scooters, and with consumers who are direct B2C kind of consumers for the motorcycles? How is it working out for you?
See, since day zero, the play has been pure 100% retail play actually, even as on today until now.
Oh, okay.
So we have never done B2B or the logistic sales so far.
Okay.
Because it is to do with our internal, again, the thesis that, see, we are a new brand. And so first, it's all about the consumer experience, user experience, purchase experience, the feedback loop. When they are the personal owners of this vehicle, actually, even in terms of the after sale service, see, when you're emotionally attached to your product, India two-wheeler is not just some kind of utility, actually. Many people own it as a family member or extended family member, that they own it for 5 years, 7 years, then they either gift it or resell it actually. So the idea for Pure was to build a great retail brand, and so that the feedback loop is very, very quick and very, very emotional also between our customer to the dealer and dealer to the company and company to the customer actually. Going forward also, we will be 100% retail play, in terms of the scooters and motorcycles. But when it comes to the logistics, actually, what we intend to create is once we feel that, lakhs of, it's not just thousands, lakhs of products are crossing 60,000, 70,000 kilometers kind of thing. So we feel that, we don't have to customize the product for them actually. Because in terms of the powertrain or the battery and the safety and everything, so that is when we feel that, we will have a organic ground to hit the logistics and the B2B market very hard. Just to give you an one organic example, in Tamil Nadu, the government, they have tendered 256 vehicles, as a electric vehicles. They wanted to convert their police constables and forest beat officers fleet actually. So from nowhere we got the order because the whoever the end users actually, they wanted only motorcycle product and a product which can run for 150, 170 kilometers.
Right, Nishanth, your short answer
Yes.
in 60 seconds.
Yes.
What are the 3, 4 or 5 major problem areas for the EV space in India?
After sale service, because the volumes are low, we don't have a parallel spare parts kind of industry what the petrol or the ICE industry has created, because the volumes are in crores and billions actually.
Okay.
That is the first challenge. Second challenge is the retail finance today, because the financial institutions are still viewing that, EVs don't have a great resale value actually. So the retail finance plays a significant role today when somebody is buying some petrol scooter or iPhone or a laptop actually, because people don't want to pay, even if they have money, when you're buying a car or a house actually, you want to go through this kind of EMI, so the retail finance will play a significant role in the evolution and revolution of EVs, which is at a very, very bottom level when compared with any other consumer brand product, mainly due to lack of sense on the resale value. And the third thing is the dealership ROI, return on investment, because it's not just about the company, the brand and all, the dealers have to make money, dealers have to survive. And today in the automotive industry, they get a lot of income from the after sale service more than the sales actually, which is not the case with EVs, because EVs don't have moving parts. So it is in conflict with the dealer income actually. He has to depend solely on the sales income. And the fourth thing is the evolution of the core technology, the anode, cathode, electrolyte, the separator, the core technologies today we still lack actually. Be it in terms of the fundamental sciences, be it in terms of the engineering and the scale. And the fourth thing is what what the country and the industry together has to solve actually, the fourth problem. Because the rest of the three with the scale and the evolution will come. But the fourth thing, there has to be a long-term vision and the mission for the country and the industry also, the industry leaders.
So an important thing that I get from what you've said is, while the rest of it is going to be the result of awareness and, I mean, dealers' comfort in the sales, because the prices and the discount levels should not be too much. So there
Yes.
should be a decent
Yes.
margin for the dealer, and technology will come and grow at its own, and with the government support, etc. But the important thing is that the retail financiers, do you have any partners there who have already endorsed you in terms of, yes, we will give loans for
No.
pure EV?
Yeah. We have partners. That's how the sales are being driven actually today.
Any institutionalized arrangements?
I mean, most of the large commercial banks, like NBFCs, they've been partnered with Pure actually, and
Do you want to name some brands?
I mean, we are
Just to infuse the
We, I
system.
mean, so we are very happy, and IDFC is there, Bandhan Bank is there, ICICI is there. Now with HDFC also, we are evolving a tie-up actually, and we are evolving tie-up with Axis Capital, and so there are few other startup NBFCs who have greatly supported Pure actually. And because of with their support only, our volumes have been at this number actually. But what I'm saying is the industry, we as have a responsibility to create that comfort for the financial institutions. I'm not demanding them to take a risk actually, because every financial institution has to run with greatest amount of discipline in terms of how they finance, how they deploy their funds actually. So we as an industry have to create the trust. Initially, we as an industry, industry leaders, including Pure EV, so what we are doing is we are showcasing these numbers that 70,000 kilometers, 1 lakh kilometers, where our own customers are coming and exchanging our old vehicles with Pure EV old vehicles with the new vehicles. We have been running this vehicle exchange and battery buyback program since last 1 year. More than 4,800 customers have come back to our own ecosystem, Pure EV's ecosystem, and where almost some customers got resale value of what Activas also don't get. So these kind of case studies have to be built by us as a industry leaders, including Pure EV, build that confidence among the financial institutions, and add the technology value, also add the engineering value that these batteries tomorrow, if not about EVs, with bit of reconditioning and regeneration, they can get into the energy storage systems. Like we have done in our Pure EV factory, today 500 kWh of these batteries are running our factory, powered by solar energy actually. So there is lot of great economy of scale is there. Let's say you're not putting refurbished battery into the EV, but you can put that into energy storage, be it at the microgrid level. So these are the case studies. This is the kind of torchlight we have to create for the financial institutions actually.
Now, an important aspect that comes to mind when you mentioned solar energy, etc. You are very, very sustainability driven.
Yes.
Give me some interesting numbers that will demonstrate that over the years, this is the kind of, impact we've had on the state of carbon and other aspects of the environment. So just give me some sustainability numbers.
See, today, when we look at Pure EV customers actually, just 75,000, 77,000 customers have created almost 1 lakh ton of CO2 savings actually. There's 1 lakh tons of CO2 worth of savings. Wonderful. And even if these vehicles
And this is in how many years?
This is just in 4.5 years.
Wow.
And including the COVID period.
1 lakh tons of CO2 savings.
Yeah.
Okay.
And still the vehicles are going like Dil Mange More, on road. So, and what we predict is, let's say these vehicles come to, especially the batteries come to an end of life. Those batteries with of bit of technology intervention, let's say in this kind of community of smaller community of Mumbai or Lower Parel, if there are 400 EV two-wheeler customer owners, Pure EV plus other companies actually, those 400 customer batteries, again can propel 1 megawatt of kind of localized grid here actually.
Oh,
I'm talking about the end of the life of those batteries.
Now talk about the end of life for your own vehicles.
Yes.
I mean, somebody wants to take a loan for 7 years.
Yeah.
On a Maruti or a major brand like that. insurance companies or loan companies, EMI finance companies will give you that. What is the length of life that pure EV vehicles seem to command in the mind space of the financer
Yeah. See, we are already achieving 5 years as on today.
already?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that comfort our financiers have, and that's a confidence we have, and the same confidence is resonated among our customers also, actually.
Pure EV customer.
Pure EV customers. Okay. So, but what we want to build is, especially among the powertrain and the battery, because this is what constitutes the 80% of any EV two-wheeler, including pure EV. That life has ambitiously, we want to create that, it should go up to something like 7 to 10 years.
Excellent.
And that is just at a EV two-wheeler level. And then with the technology intervention, another 3 to 5 years additional life cycle should come as an end of life of these batteries in the energy storage segment, actually.
And maybe you can incentivize your dealers
Yes.
by telling them that buyback exchanges
Yes.
will only happen with great benefits for the customer who's
Yes.
going to turn the old EV in and take another one from the same dealer from whom he had bought this.
Yes.
That at least will incentivize them. Because on servicing, there's not much.
Yes.
Lovely. So, you told me that you are completely B2C oriented and driven by that. What is Pure EV's core marketing philosophy? It's going to be very difficult because you got to go across the country. You're from, like you said, Kanyakumari to Kashmir, right? Like the true South Indian gentleman who will think south to north. And this is just a joke, of course. But tell me, how do you go about your marketing plans? Because the important thing is you got a great thing going. But unless people in the adjacent areas don't hear about it and are not aware about it, you cannot expand your market.
Yes.
So customer awareness to customer acquisition.
Yeah.
What is the marketing strategy and philosophy that drives that?
Yes. So just to be candid, you mentioned Kanyakumari to Kashmir. We were the first EV two-wheeler brand to do a trip of Kashmir to Kanyakumari.
Okay.
This was in 2022 in the peak of the summer, and there was continuous YouTube reels were going around so two young influencers I have done from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and on 2 different products, actually. See, first 6 years
Both scooters or
both were scooters that time. We didn't had the motorcycle.
which model was that?
So one was the e-Pluto series model, another was the e-Trans Neo model. So
Okay.
So coming to the communication, the visibility, the PR and branding, actually, which is very critical for a fast evolving market like EV two-wheeler space. So initial 5 years, our communication strategy was the product performance, actually, word of mouth. It was very critical for us, not just from EV two-wheeler perspective, actually, because we felt that, there is a lot of engineering play involved, be it in terms of the evolution of the product and understanding the after-sales service requirements, actually, because achieving scale in a fast-growing market is relatively easier, if you're able to push your product through great amount of branding, marketing, discounts, and with a heavy network, because there was always a pull.
So what kind of campaigns do you roll out?
So campaigns were always the customer stories, what we have done in the last 4 or 5 years, very, very strongly, continuously, that, to talk about the customer experience.
For credibility from real users.
Yeah, real users, actually, and how they are offering great user experience, even better user experience than the counterpart petrol vehicles, actually, because that is the trust we want to bring, that, it's not just about pure EV, it's all about the entire ecosystem, that, these products offer better user experience and durability and more confidence into the community, actually. That is one thing. And the second thing, what we have been doing since last 18 months is, very candidly, we have coined our mileage numbers as 101, 151, 131, 171, 201. So this is earlier, today in the market also, it's all 90, 100, 130 kind of, it ends with 0.
These stay.
Yeah.
These register.
Yeah. So this one is to throw a challenge and to create a confidence among the customers, pure EV customers, that, when we talk about mileage, actually, you will get 1 kilometer extra.
Excellent.
Because, see, whatever the product has been created, on-road mileage versus what companies market, because the marketing numbers are derived through technically only. It's not like, some random numbers are derived. But we wanted to build that confidence into the EV community, especially among the pure EV customers, that mileage has been the one big concern among the EV customers, that, do I get 100 or 130? So that is how we started marketing actually. And this has worked very well in the recent past, including the last few months, where the numbers are going up, and we have been throwing challenges also. If you get 1 kilometer less, we'll return the money. We have been throwing friendly challenges into the influencer community that, why don't you randomly drive our product in whatever the mode you would like to drive. And and apart from this, we have created a holistic strategy on the branding, so one is on the what we have to communicate actually. So first thing is more than the performance and all, what is the vision of the company? What is the mission of the company actually? What is the long-term story we want to build in the community?
So these are for different buckets of AGs.
Yes.
For the consumer, it is the real life experiences and the fact that you should actually have a sticker on your bikes and vehicles saying, I drive sustainability on my pure EV.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
And who are the investors? You have some great people, entities.
Yes.
I mean, I know that one huge broadcasting and publishing conglomerate in English, and another one which is its rival in this space. But I think they've sort of realized the value and seen the value of EVs on pure EV. You have the Times of India Group and you have the Hindustan Times Media Group. Both have invested. So you already are in a winning place when it comes to marketing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you just look at it from that perspective, but let's keep that aside.
Yes.
Tell me about the investor clutch that is helping you accelerate.
Yes.
Pun intended.
Yeah. So always Pure has been greatly supported by the investor. So the first investor, has been angels to the Pure, has been the Natco Pharma family office.
Okay.
So continuously since 2019 until now, every year whenever we went through a fundraise, they have participated and greatly backed the company. And more than the investment, coming from manufacturing background, engineering background, they've kind of guided us also, how cautiously you have to trade the path of the manufacturing industry, how important it is to take time while building the product, taking it to the market before you want to go for that kind of
so that is that.
Yeah. And then Laurus Labs family office has participated, then Conscience Capital is there. Then this PDSL UK, it's which is automotive conglomerate, from UK actually, they have invested. Then of course the two other names, you have quoted, HT and BCCL, they've been backing us since last 1.5 year actually. There are few other investors who are kind of Hyderabad based, who are coming from again technology and engineering background, but the major investors are these 3-4. But apart from these, I would like to talk about IIT Hyderabad as an investor and angel who have supported us since 2018, and more not just in terms of the money and the facility and everything, but it is to do with the ecosystem. So when Pure has started its journey, the kind of the ecosystem support they have given, while we were building the products, the technologies, the engineering, the kind of landscape they've offered to Pure, so that's the reason we always call IIT Hyderabad not just an investor, they are true angel to Pure actually.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So you have a great reputation in the marketplace, which has been created by the quality of the products and the complete after-sales service and support that you provide your customers, B, from the endorsements and testimonials perhaps from your customers, having ridden, so many millions of kilometers and miles. And still, the one thing that gives every promoter, every founder, co-founder, MD, CEO sleepless nights is a possible risk to, or a hit on, or a blip on the reputation of the company. Because, reputation today, I think, in my view, the PR partner who's with you, okay, would even supersede, if you ask me, anybody else except the two co-founders in your company, in your case, because everything that everybody else does is grist to the mill
Yes.
of the PR partner and your comms team,
Yes.
which together will then sort of communicate that in a subtle way.
Yes.
Right? So, how does Pure EV approach reputation management, and why is it, superfluous question, but why is it a key part of your entire strategy for the brand?
See, the way we build the reputation, the approach has been because we are a virgin brand and we are entering into a space where already some kind of large legacy is existing.
Yes.
So from day zero, the approach has been transparency and accepting the reality on ground actually, and kind of molding the brand, more and more always towards the consumer experience, and making it more and more closer to what they want actually. So the transparency has been our kind of pillar for our reputation actually since day zero. And the other thing has been being true to ourselves, what we intend to do, what we have done, that is what we have always been communicating in the market actually. So be it our business model, products, what we will deliver, what is our future plans and all, so always we want to be closer and closer to the reality. That is where while building the reputation actually, the communication is very, very critical, but planning that has to go into your communication, the vision is also what we have created in the last 6 years.
Excellent. And how important, therefore, is it to have a strong strategic reputation management partner or PR agency in this reputation and critical kind of aspects?
No, see, basically the PR, the way I have my limited understanding in the last 6 years is you need to have both tactful partner and a strategic partner also, and both can be one.
Yes.
And it has to be both internal team and external also. And so both tactful and strategic is very critical. See, I think strategic we have done very well and from Pure, and tactful is what our current partner and the internal team is what is building. How do you
tactical,
yeah. So basically, how do you create those quick reactions, responses? How do you get connected to the community actually? How do you communicate certain things which are not strategic in nature but which are more short term in nature actually?
So the kind of marketplace that you have, all of India, and all the people who might be interested in switching from or buying their first EV vehicle, switching from petrol to EV. You would therefore need an agency that is all over the country in terms of reach, in terms of connects, in terms of impact and complete understanding of Bharat.
Yes.
So that's very good. So given that you have an all India footprint and customers to reach, right? How good has your relationship been with your PR partner? And what is your thinking on the basis of a solid and mutually beneficial relationship between a client and a PR partner, like Pure EV and its agency?
So just to start with a candid correlation, as a country, we have more from a defense or the space perspective, we build tactical strength and as well as the strategic strength, so tactical strength is all about how do you protect your borders through tanks, guns and everything. And the strategic strength is all how do you protect your long distance, all the outer space and space. So that's a kind of relationship has been grooming among Pure EV and our the PR agency partner Adfactors. We are very lucky to get associated with Adfactors actually. And so since recent times, so these are the two areas we are together working actually and aligning with our vision and the communication strategy. So in terms of tactical, one thing the way which can generate quick interest, quick reach actually, and the strategic is all about that patience, long-term evolution, exactly how do we want to place the founders, the brand actually, which is very, very, very critical. And that is where, like, we have also been understanding that, the patience is very, very critical, like, to create the strategic, the PR strengths actually. And that is where, like, definitely our PR agency has great amount of credentials and proven track record also, especially to create the strategic, the communication in terms of the PR.
And as also the largest agency, the greatest amount of reach across the country. Right. Yeah. So, Nishanth, what is your short answer to the 4 or 5 things every industry professional, every EV industry professional must do or learn to stay ahead of the curve?
So Pavan, like, to stay ahead of the curve, actually, first thing is, like, is to have the consumer experience. It's not just at the purchase time, like, the durability is the very, very, very critical thing actually.
That's one.
The second thing is, like, the engineering is much, much more important than the technology, R&D, the fundamental science you build into your products. Because engineering is what delivers right from upstream to downstream actually.
Sure.
Engineering is what delivers a sustainable and profitable business for the company and for the shareholders, for all your partners actually. That is the second thing.
So every EV professional, whether they're in engineering or sales or marketing or whatever,
Yes,
need to be completely aware
Yes.
of the best talking points which demonstrate
yes,
the sheer quality
Yes.
that is inbuilt through
Yes.
all the engineering that's gone into creating the product.
because we a third thing is the sustainability, the kind of impact the products have to create on ground. Yes, the sales number, the visibility is utmost critical for the growth of the industry, but the impact at the customer level,
Be aware of all that.
yes,
Right. And
that is what you have to track on daily,
communicate.
communicate actually, whether you're sleeping, eating, like, whatever you're doing, the impact is what has to be tracked actually. And the fourth thing is, like, have a great amount of long-term sustainability in terms of the business models. Because we are facing a large incumbent legacy players within the border and across the border also. So never underestimate, like, so the business model strength is very, very critical for every founder, because founders are the ones who are responsible, like, yes, investors give great support. And the last thing is the business model has to be long lasting and sustainable over decades.
Wonderful. Wonderful. If you had just 30 seconds to convince a skeptic or somebody who's not aware to switch to EVs in principle, what would you say?
They deliver superior and unlimited great customer experience than any other technological automotive product out there in the market.
And they are a responsibility that we all have to really take over.
Yes, right? That is the bottom line.
So, Nishanth, what do you see as Pure EV's role in shaping India's EV narrative over the next few years?
So, Pawan, like, the main thing we will create a differentiating factor is the durability and deriving the resale value, because that is very, very critical to shape the minds of the consumers, to shape the minds of the financial institutions actually. And the second thing is the very aggressive evolution of our motorcycles, which is currently, like, in a very low pace, but the country is all about driving motorcycles. And the third most important thing is, like, the way we are connecting the dots of EVs, energy and sustainability. That is the must, because EVs are not a standalone products which are just reducing the tailpipe emission. Like, EVs have a connect to the energy, they have to be sustainable.
And now, Nishanth, what are the goals in terms of numbers of sales, etc., that you have set yourself, that Pure EV has set itself over the next year and in the near future? See, where are you now and where do you see yourself going?
So currently on an average, like, we have been doing 15,000 to 18,000 kind of volumes per annum actually. And in the next 12 months, like, we want to double these volumes actually on a monthly basis. In a step-by-step manner. So that will happen by increasing the network, because today our penetration is is kind of relatively lower compared to any other competitor out there in the market. And then, because we will go very aggressive on the motorcycles within domestic and the exports also. So definitely in the 24 to 30 months from today, we'll cross 1 lakh kind of annual sales kind of run rate actually. And then by 2030, we are looking at a numbers of like something like 4 to 5 lakh kind of volumes per annum.
And you believe these completely.
Yes.
And therefore, your efforts to increase your capacity are already underway?
So basically, they are in kind of mid-advanced stage, so because we still have 9 to 12 months where we can utilize the existing capacity.
Correct.
So the plan is underway, in terms of when I say mid-advanced, so all the groundwork, paperwork, it has been done. So now it is almost translating into more of a setting up a new facility.
Where would you set it up?
So currently we are exploring, so we are looking out everywhere in India actually, and definitely as a responsible founder, I have to respect the where we can maximize our shareholders' value, wherever we see that there is a great ecosystem has been already built. And where we can get maximized, incentives and all, that is where we'll put up the plant actually. So we have not narrowed or zeroed upon some kind of location. But so we are looking at more from our long-term goals also, from a logistics perspective, in terms of geography. Yeah.
That's wonderful, wonderful. And the Hyderabad plant is where all models of your scooters and motorcycles are manufactured.
Yes, correct. Yes. We have 2 dedicated lines actually. One is for the scooters, one is for the motorcycles.
What is the team size?
So currently,
all over India?
Yeah, all over India,
direct and indirect.
Yeah. So at the plant, almost it's a kind of employee size is almost 170, 180. And if you include all over India on and off payroll, we would cross something like 500, 600 kind of employee strength actually.
Okay.
And this kind of team has been built over a time. It's not like overnight this kind of team we have built. And in the next few years, I think we'll cross 1,000 kind of numbers in terms of the employees actually.
Excellent, excellent. On a personal note, what keeps you motivated in this highly competitive and evolving and rather difficult EV space, Nishanth?
At a personal level, so definitely what keeps me motivated is what I like doing in my personal life, definitely so that is watching movies, no matter what, how busy has been the life since before Pure and after Pure, so that is one thing I have not lost habit, so when I say watching movies, that too in the theater actually on the first day. So that has, so that I have not given up even as on today actually,
Which was the last one you watched?
So last one, last 3 movies I watched was for this Sankranti, all Telugu movies actually.
Okay.
Game Changer, Daku Maharaj and Sankranti Ki Vastunnama. So, and I'm a big fan of literature, in terms of writing and reading Telugu,
really?
My mother tongue.
Wow.
So it gives me lot of stress relieving, especially when I read. Even as on today, I read a lot of deeper poetry. I write actually, So this is more on a personal line, nothing to do with the technology or the engineering things, what I do in my life actually. So these are the things are keeping on going on, so which are out of the box actually. And they have been the great stress relievers for me, writing, reading and watching.
Lovely. What has really shown through this entire conversation, Nishanth, is your passion, your conviction, your belief. And I'm sure that you and Rahul make a formidable pair of co-founders, you the MD and he the CEO. And I'm sure you will drive Pure EV to great success. I really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you for your time today, Nishanth. A lot of insights for me and I'm sure for everybody else. And a lot of inspiration also. It does us proud to say that and to see that something like Pure EV is doing what it has been doing under your leadership and the rest of your team's efforts. So what did you think of your chat with me on Mediacast from Media Brief, Nishanth?
So first of all, thanks a lot, Pavan, for hosting me. And it's a great pleasure for me to get hosted on Mediacast. And first time, I'm doing this in the journey of entire Pure EV, so, I think it's a great funnel for me as a founder to tell who we are, so definitely Mediacast and Media Brief are already a highly reputed platform, and the show actually among the industry, especially among the corporates, among the automotive, among the PR community actually. So definitely it is a great platform for somebody like me, who is Nishanth, founder of Pure, to talk about our journey, what we have done, and that too in a very candid manner, and thanks a lot for hosting me on the Mediacast.
Thank you very, very much, Nishanth. Thanks for the time. You flew in from Hyderabad today and gave us so much of time and such a lot of information, insights. Professionals in media, marketing, advertising, brand building, etc., business owners, leaders, professionals across verticals and sectors. What we try to do is, I meet leaders from different sectors, different companies, different backgrounds. So I guess what we try to do at Mediacast is share some more information that might excite people who are in perhaps pharmaceuticals to look at the EV space today and look at this company, and therefore gain more and more information and knowledge. So not just for pharma people, so everybody. But point I'm trying to make is it's a humble thing that we do, trying to get thought leaders like yourself, and have them introduced to and have their thoughts and their experiences and their insights, which are valuable across a lifetime of great professional and, let's say, society service, through your initiatives. So thank you for being on the show. And thanks also very much indeed to Srikanth Gunishetty, who is your head of Popcom at Pure EV. And of course to AdFactors PR's two wonderful people who sort of coordinated with me and my team to make this interaction possible. That's Mangirish Dume and Deblina Munshi. So thank you very much indeed. I hope to come over to Hyderabad sometime and try out one of your motorcycles or vehicles.
You should visit our facility and the team actually. So we are very, very happy and eager to host you in Hyderabad.
Wonderful, wonderful. So that, my dear friends, was my conversation, very illuminating conversation for me, and I'm sure for you also, with Dr. Nishanth Dongari, the founder and MD of Pure EV, which is doing great stuff in energizing the entire EV space with very, very sustainably and sustainability-driven efforts. So till we meet again in the next episode of Mediacast, the podcast series from MediaBrief.com. This is your host and friend Pavan R Chawla saying, take care, stay safe, drive safe, and as soon as possible, switch to EVs. Bye-bye.